Good morning, I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. It's another dark and dismal day, as you can see. Typical for Canada weather at this time of year. Somebody asked about our farm and how it was situated and what it looked like. And I would like to say that for new viewers who haven't been with us for too long, I would recommend that you check my older videos because I think I've covered just about everything right now. But there's always new people coming on, so because it's a daily vlog, it's ongoing. It keeps on where we left off the day before. But because it's a daily vlog, I have a huge history and backlog of videos that you can check other stuff out. But I am going to do kind of a farm tour today so you can see where we live. This is not the pretty time of year to see our farm, but this is what it looks like at Ewetopia Farms in the wintertime. This is the street you'll come down, and that's our mailbox. Been hit by a snowplow many times, so it's looking pretty ragged right now. And as you pull into the driveway, you're gonna see our farm sign. We live on a fairly busy road, but luckily we're quite a ways back. So that's the main barn. The section off to the front there, that's where our ewes are that have their lambs that are giving birth. And then at the very back there, that portion of the barn is where our misfit group is right now. That's at the back of the main barn. This is the main barn where we have all the jugs and the family pen set up, and those are our silos and our grain bins and stuff. And this is the ram paddock here, and under that lean-to up there, that's where all the big boys stay. So this is our driveway. We have our flag up front, and that's our house. In Canada, that's considered an old home. It will be around 100 years old, but Canada's a pretty young country, so that will be way up there in age. Our farm is situated on 300 acres. The main farm, this home farm portion, is on 100 acres, but we have various other farms down the road to make up the 300 acres. Plus, we rent fields from neighbors and stuff. So I think we're renting, I don't know, maybe another 200 acres. So that's the house. If you want to see the house and gardens looking pretty in the summer, I do have a video that you can search for. I really don't know how to put links up, but it's about the garden in summertime, and I take you on a tour around our garden. And as I walk up the driveway, you can see there's the rams out in the paddock area there. Our farm is facing south, so as I walk in towards the barns, I'm going north. And I'm going to stop the tour portion here to do chores, and then we'll continue as we finish in this barn and we walk north between the stacks of hay there and head out over to the coveralls. This farm used to be a dairy farm, so that's why you'll often hear me call this area here the milk house, because this is where the milk tank used to be for collecting the milk. All that was removed when we started into sheep, but still the old names hold. So this is the old milk house, and this was the old dairy barn inside here. So as we walk into the main portion of the barn, where we have the jugs and the family group, this would have been where all the cows were milked. There would have been stalls, tie stalls. It was a old tie stall barn, which meant the cows were tied up all day long and they were milked. There were 40 cows on average milking in here. So a lot of dairy farmers, when they retire, it's hard for farmers to totally retire and leave livestock. So selling the dairy cows and going into sheep is often an alternative that they choose, so that they can still keep the barns running and get a little income and still have livestock around. So we find a lot of people getting into it are ex-dairy farmers. And also dairy farmer wives. Oftentimes the husband will have the dairy cows and a wife will have a small flock that she's running, because sheep are a little more manageable for women. Oh, let me feed Tommy first. You're patiently waiting, Tommy. I can see that. There you go. As you can see, our jugs are getting pretty small there. In that I mean that they're getting empty. So this is the family group in here. We only have 3 in here right now. When we renovated the barn and sold all the cows and everything, all the piping and stalls were torn out and reconfigured for sheep. This is the feed room. It was the feed room with the cows, and it's the feed room with us. However, it's kind of a messy area. Back here we used to have a TMR mixer for feeding the cows, because the cows were fed down an alleyway with a cart. That was sold and removed because if you have a dairy check, in Canada, dairy farmers are on a quota. We have the only quota left in the world where it's totally government supported and they get raises and stuff to go with cost of living. So they have money to run these TMR mixers. It just wasn't practical for us to keep the TMR running because sheep don't produce the income that dairy does in Canada. However, if you were a dairy farmer and had all that stuff and you're all set up and everything's paid for, then you may as well use it. But when Arnie sold the cows, his mother had made him sign a contract when he purchased the farm that he didn't quite understand all the nooks and crannies, so we thought everything was paid up and it was all done. But when he sold the cows, she took him to court and didn't turn out well. So we are very conscious of money and had to basically rebuy the farm. So we started from scratch, and we're doing well, because if you run things efficiently, it will work even with sheep. So if we climb this ladder, this goes up into the hay loft and the straw loft where we store little square bales, idiot bales as Arnie calls them. So this is up in the hay mow. We did a video of the hay mow as well, if you want to search through our videos and find that, where Arnie did the video and talked about the history. This over here on this side of the barn is all our straw, and on the other side we have hay. But we've been stopping using small bales, so you can see that the barn is slowly getting empty. We have one of the highest barns in the neighborhood. It's a very tall barn, and this barn is over 100 years old. It's really cool up here. Right now I'm in the barn that points out facing south to the road, attached to the main barn. This is where our sheep have their babies. This one here looks like she's pretty close too. Maybe not today, but soon. And this is where our little bottle babies escape into. They come from the other side of the barn, and as you can see, they sneak in here. I don't know why, but they do. It's part of the independence thing. One just came in now and is in the feeder back there. But this used to be the old heifer barn. The heifers are the cows that aren't milking yet, the young ones. So they would live in this barn, and that's why you'll sometimes hear me refer to this area when I come in here as the heifer barn. It's not a heifer barn anymore, but like I say, the name tends to stick. Before I head over to the coveralls, I'm going to let Heather and her lamb out today. Hi, sweetie. Come on. We're gonna follow your mommy out. Go on, Heather. Go on. Follow your mommy, okay? Follow your mommy. That way. There you go. There she goes. She's running up ahead. You gotta go quicker. Sometimes you just have to carry them. Speed the process up a little bit. Heather, you could have waited for your lammy. It would have been a nice gesture. There we go. Now, as I leave the milk house, you can see the farmhouse is right in front of us. But we're going to head north, up between the bales of straw, towards the coveralls and all our other outbuildings. This lean-to here we use as hay and equipment storage for the bales that aren't wrapped. That laneway goes to the back of the barn, and you can see a door back there. That's the door where the lambs will come out when we move them over to the coveralls. So we'll open that door and they'll come out here and they'll walk down this alleyway. This is Arnie's shop in here where he does all his welding. On the opposite side is where we have more dry hay storage. And then we get into the sheep yard, basically, where all the coveralls are. So if we continue down that laneway there, which is covered with snow, but behind the gate, that takes you to the back of our home farm. Back there we have pastures and crop fields and a forest. On this side, which is the west side, this is our newest coverall, and this is where right now our rowdy bunch of young lambs and loony are staying, as well as the Dorset ram lambs and the yearling Suffolk rams there in that barn. This is the oldest coverall. It's the one in the middle. We did this one first, and that's why this one is 10 feet narrower. This is a 40-foot width, and it's a little longer than the others. So they're the same size, but this is narrower and longer. The two new ones we did are wider, and we prefer the wider. It gives the animals more space. And the barn where Arnie is, that's where all the mums and lambs are right now from the first groups. And this was the second coverall that we built. So you can see in here we have a nice yard here, and because they're all close together, it's easy to feed the animals, and each coverall has access to a pasture, so they can all go out to graze in the summertime. And that's looking back towards the main barn. So that's the layout of our farm. All these coveralls were constructed after the dairy cows left, except for the old one. If you can see, there's a really tiny seam there before the big length at the back. He did have a little tiny coverall here for newborn calves, but we put an addition onto it when we got the sheep. These two new coveralls, the second and third coverall that we built, they are 50 feet wide by 140 feet long, whereas the old one is 40 feet wide by 160 feet long. Last night Arnie brought the jumping box for this group. So as you can see, they've already found it, and it's already the favorite hangout. What do you guys think? I think it's a black domination for sure, with the white ones fighting to get up there. Lots of fun for these guys. Hi guys. Hi, what do you think? Hi. Oh, you're so funny. Yes. Hello, what do you think about that? Is that a camera? Yeah, pretty clever you are. Hi, you're a handsome boy. I'm back in the main barn, and I'm just tagging the last two lambs that are in the jugs. I did this guy, just finished this guy here. He's hunched up a little bit because he didn't like the tail docking. And I'm just gonna grab his brother here. I've got everything in my little bucket here all set up, so I just have to log in the next lamb. I used to log them in as I tagged them, but it's easier, I find, just to do it while the tags and everything are in the bucket. So I'm gonna lock that lamb into his farm tag. And his farm tag's gonna be 605. And he's gonna be the last one. There we go. These are Snappy Sons, two really nice looking boys here. So this is the last little lammy we're gonna do. I'm gonna tag him with his radio tag, his farm tag, give him his selenium shot under the skin, give him a little bay cox to prevent coccidiosis. Swallow that, buddy. Spin him around and do his tail. Right to where the skin is. And his mom is 190. So we're going to spray that on his back. Mom, go on. Scotty's watching too, and the mom does not like the cat near her lambs. Last lamb done. Later on today, I'm probably going to let them out of the jug, and that's it. No more sheep in the jugs right now. Mom, please. That was the mom. Hey, they're both done. Scotty's here watching because Scotty wants some food. And when he hops in here, she'll literally charge across the pen to try hit him. So he's staying up there, but she still doesn't like him there. Yeah, you're protecting your lambs. He's not a killer cat. For several months now, we've been feeding water with this many buckets to sheep in jugs. And right now, with that last ewe getting her lambs tagged, she's got a bucket of water. But if nobody lambs today or tonight, tomorrow there'll be no pails of water to do. May seem like a small thing, but today's chores took about an hour less time than normal because everybody's in groups now with automatic waterers. The lambs are drinking off bottle holders, the ones that are still drinking bottles, and things go a lot quicker, which means that we have a little more downtime or can at least go through our chores at a much more decent pace instead of rushing all the time. So it's a good feeling today. And Arnie's moving manure again from the ram pen. So hopefully that gave you a little idea of how our farm is all set up here. And thank you for watching. Hope you join us again tomorrow for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms.